Should you be spending extra money on buying organic produce? Here's 5 tips to help you decide for yourself. Coming up. Hi everyone, this is Ernesto from AttaBoyCowBoy, and on this channel, we give you health and wealth tips to help you be more successful. Now today I'm filming in Encinitas, California. It's a really awesome place to come surfing. It's early morning, a lot of the surfers are out, and I just wanted to share this beautiful view with you. It's election day in the United States, so there's a lot of action today. So I decided to come out here with my family to Encinitas and hang out for the day and take in the election results. So here, let me give you 5 tips on what I suggest when you're deciding whether or not you should buy organic produce. So first, let me give you a little bit of information about organics. Remember that plants are like animals, like you and I. Right now, we're all living through the pandemic. So what happens? Because of overpopulation, we have to wear masks, we have to socially distance. Otherwise, we spread the coronavirus around a lot more, right? Same thing with plants. When you bunch a bunch of plants together, they pass illnesses amongst themselves the same exact way. They also pass insects and other things. So that's why when you group a bunch of plants together, you have to use pesticides or herbicides to be able to grow the quantity that we need to feed all the people we have in the world. So tip number 1, let's talk about probably one of the most important things, nutritional content. I get this question a lot from clients and patients. They say, Doc, organics are better. They have more nutrients. Absolutely not. There's been a lot of research done on it, and organic or non-organic, they have the same vitamin, mineral, and carbohydrate makeup. So it really doesn't make a difference in terms of nutrition. Which one is more nutritious? They're about the same. I would say the most important thing is actually buying locally grown. Locally grown is gonna be a lot more important. So if you go to a farmer's market or something like that, that's gonna have much more impact on the nutritional content of the fruit or vegetables that you're buying, because they're gonna be picked further on along the growing season, so it's gonna have a lot more nutrients in it. That's actually much more important versus whether or not it's organic. Tip number 2, which has more pesticides and herbicides? Well, this is an interesting thing. Organic and non-organic, they actually have about the same amount of pesticides and herbicides. And you might be saying, well, why? Well, let me tell you a story. I actually used to work in a 5-acre farm doing horticulture therapy with patients that had psychiatric problems in Brentwood. Brentwood is a part of Los Angeles. It's very, very expensive. It's right next to Bel Air. That's where Maroon 5 is from, the group. So anyway, we used to grow this organic fruits and vegetables, and I had a whole team. It was awesome. We used to sell all this produce to like celebrities, world famous people, politicians, famous restaurants there in the Brentwood area. And what I learned was we had to use herbicides and pesticides, and I was surprised. I said, wow, I thought this was organic. And we actually had a real horticulturist that worked with us. He had a PhD in horticulture, like growing plants and fruits and vegetables and stuff. And he taught me and he explained to me that organic means that the pesticides and herbicides are derived from organic sources. So a lot of the ones you hear about that are actually very toxic and cancerous, they come from petroleum and other man-made chemicals in laboratories. Whereas the organic ones are coming from organic sources like orange peels and other things like that. So those tend to be healthier for you. But in terms of the levels, they both have about the same, because you still have to use them. Because remember the story I mentioned about when you have humans in close contact or fruits and vegetables in close contact, you still have to control pests, and you still have to help them grow faster, etc., etc. So we still need these chemicals to produce the amount of food we need to feed all the humans in the world. Now, of course, the organic pesticides and herbicides are better for your health, but we'll get into that in a moment, why it doesn't make that much of a difference. So let me give you tip number 3. So tip number 3, the problem with organics is they could be up to 50% or even double the price of regular fruits and vegetables. So a lot of times I get patients that say, yeah, I don't need a lot of fruits and vegetables. They're too expensive. I can't afford them. I can't afford the organic. And I tell them, don't pass up eating fruits and vegetables because you can't afford organics. That that does not make sense. So they're eating a lot of meat, a lot of dairy, a lot of processed food because they can't avoid it. They can't afford it, I mean. So don't avoid them just because of the cost. Just buy stuff that's not organic. Tip number 4, how to manage your fruits and vegetables. Whether you buy organic or non-organic, you should wash them. Always wash them. A lot of the chemicals that are used on produce are superficial, and it's at really low quantities, and it can easily be washed off. So you can wash off 99–95% of it just by using water and vinegar. If you just use water, you're gonna get off 80–90% of it. If you use a little bit of vinegar and water, like if you get let's say a gallon of water and use maybe a quarter gallon of vinegar and use that as a wash for your fruits and vegetables, you're gonna get off the majority of the pesticides, probably in the high 90 percentile. So in the end, it's gonna be almost the same whether you use organic or non-organic. And remember, if you eat organic produce without washing it, you're still gonna be getting pesticides and herbicides in your body. They're not gonna be as toxic, but they're still not good for you because they're meant to kill things. So if you ingest it, it's not gonna be good for you. So you always wanna make sure you wash your fruits and vegetables. And even if you still don't wash them, organic or non-organic, you're gonna get very low doses into your body. And really at the end of the day, it's gonna be inconsequential. It's probably not gonna make much difference to your body. Now, in terms of cancer risk, I would worry much more about eating dairy products, high amounts of animal proteins, processed foods, drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, doing drugs, taking prescription medications. There's a lot of other things that are gonna do a lot more damage to you versus eating fruits or vegetables that are non-organic or organic and haven't been washed. But if you really want to go the extra mile, I recommend washing them. You can even soak them in your sink with a little bit of water and vinegar. That helps a lot also. Tip number 5, and this is funny. I had a patient come in the other day. She said, "Doc, I can't buy organic fruits and vegetables. I just can't afford them." And she's asking me, she's eating out of a bag of Cheetos that are manufactured, have a bunch of chemicals in them, they're processed. So keep that in mind. The most important thing is not whether or not you're eating organic or non-organic. Look at yourself holistically. Look at everything else you're eating in your diet. This person I asked them, "Well, what else are you eating?" "Well, I eat TV dinners. I eat a lot of frozen food. I eat canned food. I eat at McDonald's. I drink Coca-Cola every day." I said, all that stuff is gonna have 100% more impact on your body than whether or not you eat organics. So she was rationalizing in her mind not eating fruits and vegetables because she could not afford organics, but yet she's buying a bunch of processed food, which is actually much more expensive. So keep that in mind. Don't worry so much about whether or not you can afford organic. Spend more time thinking about making fresh whole food, like cooking your own food, making soup instead of getting out of the can, chopping up your own fruits and vegetables, and just cooking your own meals. That's gonna have a lot more impact on you. So bottom line, eating organic is not a big deal. And actually in these times, because of overpopulation, we have 7.5 billion people in the world. We have to probably get used to eating GMO and organic and food that is not organic. If you can afford the organic, go for it. I personally do not spend the extra money on it unless it's the same price or it's on clearance or something like that, then I buy it. Otherwise, it's all the same. You can research the internet. There's tons of studies that support that you do not need to buy organic, but you're also gonna find studies by companies that promote organic product because they make so much money on it. They're gonna try to convince you that you should spend the extra money on it. And I don't have a say either way. I don't make any profit in it, but all the research I've seen, it doesn't make a big difference at all. What matters is that you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. So thank you again for watching. I'm from Encinitas, California. This is Ernesto from AttaBoyCowBoy. Thank you and happy election day. Bye-bye.